is a spectacular Saturday afternoon in Toronto at Rogers Centre. It'll be the Tigers and the Blue Jays. Outside the ballpark, a lot of activities. It's Junior Jays Saturday. Kids have a great time. A lot of activities, a lot of high atmosphere. Blue Jays get their face painted. A lot of Blue Jays logo, a lot of coloring, a radar gun. Kids get to test their skills. On the outside, great fun. On the inside, great baseball. Hello, everybody. I'm Buck Martinez, along with Pat Tabler. And Pat, Aaron Hill's had a disappointing season, no question about it. But he's got a little more than a month left of the season, and if he has a few more games like he had last night, he can salvage the year.
He certainly can. He can help the ball club win ball games against Detroit Tigers through 6 games of this 8-game meetings with the Tigers. 4 of the 6 games have been decided by 2 runs or less. I think it's an evenly matched squads. They go back and forth between each other. And they're young teams, I think, wanting to prove that they can do it. Last night, Aaron Hill came up with a big base hit. Now, he looked bad on the first pitch that he saw from Phil Coe, a couple of runners on. But I think Aaron Hill is a very clutch player. He knows himself. He knows what his strengths are. And when he can bloop that ball into right field like that, Blue Jays get another win against a very tough Detroit Tiger team.
Aaron Hill doesn't get that opportunity unless the bullpen pitches great, and they did again last night. Sean Kemp has been so consistent. Cito Gaston's got a lot of confidence in him late in the game.
The older he gets, the longer he plays, the better he gets. Just 3 years ago, his ERA was up over 7. Now it is under 3. He doesn't walk anybody. He's got a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Cito Gaston showing more and more confidence in Sean Kemp. Pitched 2 very good innings in last night's game.
Today's starting pitcher, Brandon Morrow, goes for his 10th win against the Tigers, and I don't know if there's a better story on this ball club than the development of Brandon Morrow.
Boy, from the first day to now, he is a different pitcher, a different person. He's always had the great fastball, great stuff when he takes it to the mound, but now he can control it. He can throw it up if he has to. He can throw it away if he has to. You always have to be able to respect that good, hard fastball. But one pitch that's really developed this year for me is that hard slider. Brandon Morrow is really becoming an elite pitcher.
Brandon Morrow has been one of the best stories on this ball club all year long. And for more on Morrow, let's check in with Sam Cosentino.
Buck, we've talked about the rotation all season long. Just a couple of days ago, Ricky Romero making history through his 54 starts with the Blue Jays, 23 wins. Now we look at Brandon Morrow doing things that no other Blue Jay pitcher has done. You go back to Roger Clemens in the late 90s, and you go back to A.J. Burnett 10 years after Roger Clemens did it. When it comes to strikeouts per 9 innings, Brandon Morrow leading the way. Almost 11 strikeouts per 9 innings. If he can continue this pace throughout the rest of this year, he will set a Blue Jays record.
2 more home runs last night at Rogers Centre. Bautista, number 42. Adam Lind in the 8th inning put the Jays up 2-1. 110 home runs at Rogers Centre. That leads the majors.
brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
A perfect day at Rogers Center. The Tigers and Blue Jays in the third game of this four-game series. And the one thing about this beautiful ballpark, boy, when it is an open-air atmosphere, it's spectacular. Jim Leyland's Tigers didn't come up with a clutch hit in last night's game. 1 for 14 with runners in scoring position. Miguel Cabrera hit a solo home run. He leads the American League with 73 extra base hits. But the Blue Jays, over the course of this series, has minimized the impact of that Cabrera bat in this series.
He has hit in 14 of those last 15. You see the 73 extra base hits that leads the American League. The whole key, I think, is don't let him come up with runners on base. He just takes it up another notch, I think, when there are runners on base. Cabrera comes to the plate. He's always been a great run producer wherever he has played. Brandon Morrow trots out to the mound and gets set to start his 25th game of the season. Morrow hasn't taken a loss since way back on June the 29th. He is on some kind of roll right now, and one of the reasons why, he's got that good fastball. Had a good one the last time out against the New York Yankees, hitting 95, 96 miles an hour. That helped him pile up the 12 strikeouts in that game. He has won 7 consecutive decisions here at home. Really likes pitching here at Rogers Center. And in his career versus the Detroit Tigers, this will be his first career start. He has made 9 relief appearances versus the Detroit Tigers, 10 innings, and he's also had 12 strikeouts in those 10 innings. Today's scouting report is brought to you by TD. Banking can be this comfortable. Free and easy motion. I love how easy Brandon Morrow delivers the ball towards home plate. The ball really explodes out of his hand. His slider has improved so much, and he is using it now to pile up the strikeouts. You mentioned the 165. That places him in the top 10 in the American League in strikeouts, and has the best strikeout to 9 innings pitched ratio in the American League. Just an electric arm.
Take a look at the defense. A couple of changes for Cedar Gaston behind Brandon Morrow today. Travis Snyder is back in left field. Vernon Wells in center. Bautista in right. On the left side of the diamond, it's Encarnacion and Escobar. On the right side, Aaron Hill and Adam Lynn. Lynn making just his 3rd start at first base. Jose Molina, as we have seen for most of this season, he is the personal catcher for Brandon Morrow.
As he always does, and he's done a great job this year. His catcher's ERA is 3.18, which is excellent. He has done a good job of bringing along and nurturing along Brandon Morrow. I asked him about that, and he says, you know, it's Brandon Morrow who's doing it. I'm just helping him right along.
Just offering suggestions, and Morrow's executing very effectively. Brandon Morrow looking for his 10th win of the season here this afternoon. Will Rhymes will lead it off today. Austin Jackson not in the lineup this afternoon. Rhymes, the second baseman. First pitch of the ball game, up and away. Rhymes done a good job. He's on a 5-game hit streak, hitting .318. Two balls and no strikes. Molina was a little surprised that wasn't a strike. Home plate umpire Phil Cuzzy behind the plate. You can see the hesitation before he threw the ball back.
He'll do that. He will fight for his starter, whatever is behind the plate. Have constant conversation with the home plate umpire. And that one.
Right now, Molina is saying, where do we have to throw it for it to be a strike? He thought he had one upstairs. He thought that caught the outside corner. There's a strike. 3-1. Right back in there. Full count.
Rhymes doesn't do a whole lot with the ball. He's a good leadoff man. I think someday, as they move Austin Jackson down into a more RBI position, he had more walks than strikeouts this year when he was in AAA, did Rhymes.
3-2. Base hit, left field line up against the wall. Snyder over, cuts it off. Rhymes going to second base. Here's the throw, not in time. Will Rhymes going the opposite way, picks up his 7th double of the season to start things off against Brandon Morrow.
He is now hit safely in 9 of his last 10 games. Doesn't try and do too much with the ball. Again, just a nice short swing and slashes it between Encarnacion and the bag down into that left field line. Sprays the ball all over the ballpark. That good speed, hustles into second base with a leadoff double.
Ramon Santiago starting at shortstop this afternoon. Well, bat second for Jim Leland. Santiago handles the bat very well. Shows bunt, bunts it right back to Morrow. They got a shot at third. Now Rhymes is in a rundown. Encarnacion, they tag him out. They're going to get the second guy at second base. Good defense by the Blue Jays. Brandon Morrow did a great job of holding on the ball until Rhymes committed. And then Encarnacion executed the run down perfectly.
Good defense by the Blue Jays. Bad base running by the Tigers. Will Rhymes will learn that if it's a bad bunt, you don't have to go to third base. You're already in scoring position for your big guy. But once he made that commitment, Blue Jays execute it with just one throw. That was the whole key. They closed the distance between the runner and second base, made the play, and then alertly got the guy at second.
And Encarnacion hollered at Escobar that the runner was coming to second, so he's able to make the throw. What a turnaround here early. Johnny Damon, a .282 hitter for his career against the Blue Jays. Well, you're right. You make a great point. Just because Santiago made a mistake with the bad bunt, Rhymes compounded it when he took off for third.
I think he'll learn the older he gets that, if it's not a good bunt, you don't have to go to third. You have to read it on the ground. Santiago right back to the mound. Alertly, I think Brandon Morrow instinctively looked to third base to try and get him.
1-2, high slider, evens the count at 2-2. Rhymes with the leadoff double. And then the base running mistake is the Blue Jays are able to erase both base runners. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Johnny Damon strikes out. Boy, what a turn of events early on. Brandon Morrow gives up a leadoff double, and Encarnacion with the good defense. We're scoreless after a half inning. Third hitter getting fist bumps from the manager and the pitching coach. Bautista, 15 home runs in his last 22 home games. He's been on a tear here at Rogers Center. He talks about how comfortable he is in this atmosphere, how comfortable he is in the batter's box. It just sets up perfectly for him. And all the hitters talk about a great hitter's background here in Rogers Center. It's a great place to hit.
First thing he said to me when I asked him about that, it's a great hitter's background. Home runs come in bunches, and that shows right there. The 22 games, 15 of them. Jeremy Bonderman was slated to make this start, but he is out with a rib cage inflammation. in his throwing arm underneath his shoulder. He experienced that pain his last start, so it will be Alfredo Figueroa making this afternoon start. Figueroa was called up on August the 20th. Will make his first start of the season in the big leagues.
Started in AAA. Had a 10-4 record at Toledo. Two balls and no strikes to the DH, Fred Lewis. Three and 0. Both starters trying to figure out the strike zone of Phil Cuzzy. Very conservative strike zone early on. A 4-pitch walk to start the game.
That one was easy to call right there. Ball 4 by Figueroa. As Fred Lewis makes his way down to first base after leadoff walk, let's look at the scouting report for Figueroa. Fastball with a little bit of sinking action on it. He can run it up there mid-90s. His curveball and slider have been improving, and he's got swing and miss stuff this afternoon. Has averaged in his career about a strikeout per inning. But the problem is, does he have enough control to keep it in the strike zone? First batter, 4-pitch walk. Starts it off nicely for Toronto.
Junel Escobar, we have seen him bunt in these situations earlier. Not showing bunt, takes a high fastball. Combined average 252 for the season. Just 3 home runs and 31 RBI. He didn't have a home run with Atlanta in all 3 of his home runs this year in a Blue Jays uniform.
Can't figure that one out. I mean, he's got some pop. He's big and he's strong. I think he's still learning the league here in the American League and learning pitchers. But once he does, he has the ability to go the other way if he needs to. And if you make a mistake, he can juice one.
Ball on his strike with Lewis at first. There goes Lewis. Pitch is taken inside. Throw from Avila. Not in time. Stolen base number 15 for Lewis.
What a jump he had over at first base from Figueroa. He's got a high leg kick towards home, and he picked a good pitch to run on. You see the high, deliberate leg kick. Straight steal by Lewis as he gets himself into scoring position with a good aggressive slide into second base. Avila has thrown out about 30% of the runners. Had no chance that time against Fred Lewis.
And in scoring position now, nobody out. Base hit left field. Rayburn's got a strong arm. Lewis will stop at third. Ball goes all the way through to the catcher. First and third, nobody out.
It's strong and it's accurate, and you have to hold up if you're the runner to make sure that ball is not caught by an infielder. Ball is juiced right between the third baseman and the shortstop. When you're standing out at second base, you're not sure where that is. Better safe than sorry as Lewis moves up.
The man of the hour, Jose Bautista. 42nd home run last night. 45 RBIs in his last 44 games with 21 home runs. Average up to 263. Blue Jays threatening here in the first. Pop straight back.
He is on some kind of home run tear right now. Most home runs in the season. His projection is 53 home runs, which would blow away George Bell's record set back in 1987. Slowly climbing up the ladder.
They got pretty long odds at the start of the season that Bautista would make a bid for the franchise home run record in a single season. No balls in his strike. Off-speed pitch, drilled to the gap in right center. That'll get down and go all the way to the ball. Here comes Escobar. All the way from first base. Bautista headed for third. Here's the throw. Not in time. 2 runs in.
Give Jose Bautista now 99 RBIs on the season as he smokes the ball from Figueroa. You've got to get the ball down against Jose Bautista. The way he has been swinging it, he's going to hurt you and hurt you bad. A walk to Lewis, a ringing single by Escobar, and now Jose Bautista clears the bases. Give him 99.
Jumped ahead of Alex Rodriguez. Is 6 behind Miguel Cabrera. Vernon Wells with a man at third. Nobody out. Big chance for an RBI here for Wells. Ball on the ground to middle infield will get you a run.
That's what you're thinking right now, unless Figueroa throws a fastball right down the middle.
There's an RBI. Ground ball to short. Santiago throws out well. Bautista comes in. It's 3-0 Blue Jays. We talk about a reversal of fortunes. Tigers had something going, 2 men on, and they got wiped out on a good defensive play. Blue Jays have cashed in 3 runs here early.
Yeah, Blue Jays were staring at Miguel Cabrera in the first inning, but the base running gap, Morrow finishes it up with a strikeout, and then just like that, 4 batters into the bottom of the first inning, it's 3-zip.
Adam Lind playing first base today. Takes an inside fastball. Drilled to right field. That'll get down in front of Bosch. Plays it on 1 hop. Figueroa not fooling the Jays here early.
He certainly is, and I think that's what you have to do against young pitchers. You have to welcome them to the big leagues with authority. His fastball has got to get down, or he's going to be out of this game very quickly. It'll be a short afternoon. Figueroa made 3 major league starts last year for Detroit. He had a 1-2 record, allowing 11 runs in 12 1/3 innings. He pitched out of the bullpen a little bit this season, surrendering 3 earned runs, 6 hits, and 4 walks. That's the problem. Command.
Aaron Hill lays off the outside fastball. Game-winning RBI in the 11th last night. Little bloop base hit into right field. His second hit of the game last night. He had a double to the power alley and left. Back.
Had a home run earlier this homestand that broke an 0-for-20 hitless streak. 8th player to do that this year. He also had ended an 0-for-25 drought last year against Kyle Davies with a home run. So he knows how to bust out of slumps in a big way.
Ball on his strike, 1 out. 2-1. Figueroa is in the game because of Bonderman's being scratched, and obviously Jim Leland now concerned about how many innings he can get out of the young starter.
You know, they took him out of the bullpen to make this start again. This was supposed to be Jeremy Bonderman's start. Rib cage inflammation beneath his throwing arm. Experienced that pain in his last start, scratched after feeling discomfort. He threw a side session here on Thursday. So they bring Figueroa out of the bullpen, leaving them only 6 arms down there. We played extra innings yesterday. So he's got some decisions to make.
3-1. Pulled to third, inch to second. Offline, back to first. Not in time. Well, Rhymes was a little late getting to second, and because of that, he had to reach for it. Inge made a high throw. It disrupted the timing around second. All they could do was get Adam Lind at second, and Hill reaches first.
Well, certainly hit hard enough by Aaron Hill to the left of the third baseman. You got to figure with his momentum, taking him to second base, they'll go around the horn and complete it. But you're right, Will Rhymes just a little bit off on the timing as the high throw took him out of position, and Aaron Hill beats it out.
Travis Snyder, the left fielder, this afternoon with a man at first. Two outs, 3 runs in. Big first inning for the Blue Jays. Bounced and blocked by Avila. Boy, this is the real challenge of a 4-game series. When you're playing a team for 4 games, you get a chance to see their bullpen, and then you're going to get a short start like they might get from Figueroa today. Then the Blue Jays have the advantage of seeing everybody out of their bullpen maybe today and tomorrow.
Just a little bit more information that the hitters can take with them. They also have a 4-game series against Texas next month and a 4-game series in Minnesota to end the regular season.
4-game series are challenging just because all of your boards are exposed and teams can really take advantage of that. 1-1 to Snyder, missed down the stairs. Tomorrow's starting pitcher, Rick Porcello, had a tough season himself, just 6-11. He'll go up against Mark Zabchinski in the series finale. Figueroa just can't find the strike zone. Tough for a young pitcher to find out that you're going to be starting. Have your mind set on working out of the bullpen. He did start in the minor league, so he has started a lot this year, but pressed into action because of Bounderman's injury. 3-1, 2 outs.
That you throw a strike right there, it's fouled off, and you got to do it again. 4th appearance this year, but his first start. And right now, all you're concentrating on right here is make a pitch, get out of this inning, and then regroup.
Hill will be off on the pitch. 3-2, 2 outs. It's speared by Brandon Inns. What a play. The robs Travis Snyder of a base hit, but the Blue Jays with a big 3-run first inning keyed by Jose Bautista. He drills it to the gap in right center. Drives in 2. His 3rd triple of the season. Blue Jays up 3-0.
Aquos products, including a new HD Quadron TV and Blu-ray player. Enter online at hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. Sharp Aquos with Quadron technology. You have to see it to see it.
Top of the second inning, Miguel Cabrera will lead things off just the way the Blue Jays like it. Nobody on. .458 average against the Blue Jays this year. Fastball strike. Cabrera, .341 average. He's hit 40 doubles, 32 home runs, and driven in 105. Way outside.
And he's not just about home runs and RBIs. It's about on-base percentage, base hits. How about games with a hit? 78% of the time he is going to get at least one hit in a ball game. I mean, that's Ichiro Suzuki type numbers.
Yeah, and he's doing it with power. Josh Hamilton's in the same category at 78.2. Ball and a strike. Late on a fastball. Had Dwayne Ward on the show last night, and he broke down Cabrera pretty effectively, I thought. Talking about trying to crowd big guys, make them bring their hands in to hit the ball. That ball is drilled to left field, and it's going to sail out of the ballpark. Home run, Miguel Cabrera. Number 33 on the season.
He also talked about going inside to get him outside. And Brandon Morrow just missed his spot right there. When you miss your spot to somebody like a Miguel Cabrera, he will make you pay. All you have to do is take a look at Jose Molina, the catcher, where he is set up and where the ball ends up on the inner half, and he's so quick. Short swing with tremendous power.
Second deck home run. That's why that base running mistake was so important. If he comes to the plate in the first inning, no telling what the score is. Brandon Morrow facing Brennan Bosch. Ball's behind, the ball and no strikes. Late on a fastball. This is a pretty interesting matchup. Morrow against Bosch. They were roommates at the University of California. Played baseball for the Golden Bears. Morrow said they first met in their dorm, and they lived in a dorm and then moved into an apartment and lived together for 3 years.
So he should know his teammate inside and out, know his weaknesses.
That's pretty interesting. You'd have two college teammates facing one another in the big leagues. Bosch was a very good college player, obviously, and hit 400 in his sophomore season. He had a pretty good rookie year. Breaking ball gets him, that hard slider right in on his hands.
That's the pitch that has developed the most, I think, this year for Brandon Morrow. It looks like a fastball there, and then it's gone right underneath the bat of Brandon Bosch. Second strikeout this afternoon.
Brian Rayburn with one out. Rayburn came into the game last night as a pinch hitter, got a base hit in the 7th inning. Stayed in the game and finished up 1 for 2 with a walk. Pretty impressive core of young players here in Detroit. Jim Leland has watched the growing process all year long.
That's the point we were trying to make in the opening about these two teams going back and forth with each other this season. The Tigers and the Blue Jays. The series tied at 3 games apiece. 4 of the games decided by 2 runs or less, and it's a lot about the young players trying to prove that they belong here.
And fastball up and in, pushed Rayburn off the plate. 2 balls and a strike, 1 out here in the 2nd. Miguel Cabrera with a solo home run has cut into the Blue Jays lead. Right at the top of the strike zone with that slider. Two and two. And got around that breaking ball. Molina pointing to his left shoulder to remind Morrow to stay close. Count is full. Off the end of the bat, Hill can't make the play. Knocked it down, but couldn't glove it. That's a little squibber off the end of the bat behind second base. It's a base hit for Rayburn.
When you're hot, you're hot. Rayburn's been getting some consistent playing time and has been producing for the Tigers. Doesn't hit it very hard, just hits it in a spot where Aaron Hill can only get his glove on it. And it will go as an infield single for Ryan Rayburn.
Extends his streak to 9 games. So the third baseman, Brandon Inge, with Rayburn at first. Inge had a triple in last night's game. Came in the 8th inning. And he, at the time, represented a tying run, but he was stranded at third. 1 out. Goes after the high fastball. Brandon Morrow is making his 25th start of the season. Previous career high in starts was 10. So his workload has increased dramatically.
He's talked about that this year, about the inconsistencies that he has had. And he's had some good starts under his belts. But overall, saying that I know I'm a starter as opposed to bouncing back and forth between the bullpen and the starting rotation. Overall, it's been a good year for him, he says.
Good slider gets Inge to chase. Been a great year overall when you think about the development and progress. Early in the season, he established a franchise record with 5 walks in an inning. A few starts ago, he struck out 17.
And his last start, just 6 innings pitched against the New York Yankees. He had 12 strikeouts. That's something that hasn't been done against the Yankees for quite a while. 12 strikeouts in 6 or fewer innings pitched.
A ball and 2 strikes to Inge. Pretty good looking breaking ball. He lays off 2-2. Got him. Snap throw to first. Not in time. Rayburn just back ahead of the tag from Lynn. Inge strikes out. 3rd strikeout of the afternoon.
Oh, what a heads-up play by Molina and Adam Lind over there at first base. As the runner, you're caught out on your front foot when a batter swings and misses for strike 3. Rayburn is out in no man's land, but hustles and gets just under the tag from Adam Lind. Heads-up play by Molina.
Don Kelly playing in center field this afternoon. Takes the first pitch strike. Austin Jackson, the rookie, gets the day off, so Kelly takes over defensively in center.
112 starts in center field for Austin Jackson. Been swinging a hot bat, but Jim Leyland feels he's got to give him a little bit of a blow here.
Another snap throw to first. This one off the mark. On that previous throw to first base, Brian Honora, the first base umpire, did a great job of moving around and got himself in the perfect position to watch the hand back on the bag and the tag by Lynn. Just got to keep moving to keep yourself from getting blocked out. He did a great job. Ball and a strike, 2 outs. That slider's been good so far this afternoon. .95 foul back to the screen. 3-1 ball game here, top of the second inning. Miguel Cabrera with the home run, with the Tigers on the board. Rayburn, an infield single. He is at first with 2 outs. There goes Rayburn. Strike 3 called. Kelly caught looking. Morrow strikes out the side in the second. He has 4 strikeouts already, but the leadoff batter in the second inning, big Miguel Cabrera, goes deep to left. Cabrera's second home run of the series, 33rd of the season.
Saturday, September 25th, right here at the Rogers Center. The prize includes airfare, hotel accommodations, and $1,000 to spend. To enter the contest, visit BlueJays.com. It closes Sunday, August 29th. That's tomorrow.
So sign up and a chance to watch the Blue Jays in great contest. One more day. Junior Jays Saturday, a lot of kids in attendance. Great atmosphere on this beautiful Saturday afternoon at Rogers Center. Edwin Encarnacion made a fine defensive play in the first inning to start a rundown and eventually get involved in erasing 2 Tiger base runners. Encarnacion hitting 8th today. He's had a good run over his last 7 games. Figueroa with the changeup, 1-1. Blue Jays jumped on Figueroa in the first inning. Leadoff walk, single, triple. He was down 2-0 after 3 hitters.
That changeup, he'll rarely use it. It's his 4th best pitch. His fastball is his best pitch. He likes to light up that radar gun with that fastball, but he has to learn to change speeds and throw strikes consistently with a couple of other pitches.
It's popped up into shallow center field. Kelly, a long run, and he gets there in time to make the catch.
You could win an all-new Honda CRZ and other great prizes when you vote for the Honda Play of the Month. Vote today at BlueJays.com.
3-1 Blue Jays lead here in the bottom of the second inning. The catcher, Jose Molina, with his first at bat of the afternoon. Takes a first pitch strike. An off-speed pitch, using a little more of that changeup after the Blue Jays jumped on his fastball in the first.
Not a bad idea for Figueroa. He was originally signed by the Dodgers in 2004, and they actually released him after his first season. Tigers jumped all over him, and here he is.
Bouncing ball is short. Santiago in plenty of time to get Molina 2 outs.
He was just 20 years old when they released him. Kind of surprising that the Dodgers would give up on a young arm so quickly. Tigers picked him up. Spent 4 years in the minor leagues. Still just 26 years old.
Fred Lewis walked and scored his first time up. Figueroa looks like he's got a little better idea of the strike zone now.
Not throwing quite as hard, but he's controlling the ball a lot better this inning.
Fly ball left field. Rayburn comes in. Easy inning for Figueroa. 1-2-3 second inning. Blue Jays lead it 3-1 after 2. There's one of them. Tony Fernandez could do everything on a baseball field. Great defender, phenomenal base runner, terrific hitter. And he was always involved in the growth of this young team. Tony was a switch hitter that hit from both sides of the plate with equal authority. And he could move around the diamond as well. Played a little third base, a little second base later on in his career. And we are thrilled to be joined by Tony Fernandez. Tony, welcome.
Thank you. It's my pleasure being here.
Tony, it's been a great weekend for you guys to get together, see some of your old teammates, and come back to Toronto again and talk about Dave Stieb, and he's being honored this weekend for that great no-hitter against the Indians.
It has been a great weekend, and you know, playing behind Dave was a thrill. He was one of the most dominant pitchers that I saw in my career. If I was to face a right-handed pitcher from the right side, I wouldn't like to face him at all with that slider.
You were lucky you got to be a switch hitter. You got him coming at you.
You know, I heard that it didn't matter when you were facing him if he was on. that slider was top to him.
Tony, at the time you played behind Dave Stieb, he was obviously a little more advanced than many of you younger players at that point. But did you appreciate early on just how dominant he was when you watched him from behind?
Of course. You know, it makes your job easier in the infielder. Especially because of his pace. He was a fast pitcher. You know, he always picked up the pace, and he was around the plate most of the time, and that makes it much easier for an infielder.
When you think about the ball club that you're looking at today, you saw them a couple of months ago, and everybody didn't expect them to be as competitive as they are. What have you seen about the ball club that you like to this point of this season?
What I like about this ball club is the similarity to our ball club in 1983 and 84. You know, we were just beginning to get that chemical, you know, the chemistry together. I mean, you can see that we were just one notch away from putting the team together, and that's what I see with this ball club. They combine in one team with another.
You've had a chance to watch, Escobar now a couple of months. What do you think? Your impressions?
I really believe that he plays in the Latin style baseball. When I see him play, the model reminds me of Omar Vizquel. It's like Omar Vizquel and Robbie Alomar playing next to each other.
And when you say the Latin style of playing shortstop, what do you mean by that?
That's flair.
I agree.
You got to bring that flair. If you don't play that way, then you're not Latin. I mean, we like to have fun, to enjoy ourselves. We enjoy every play that we make, and that's the way he does it.
You know, it's interesting because you played for Bobby Cox. You had that flair when you came up. Yunel Escobar, that flair didn't set well with Bobby later on in his career. How did he handle you with your flair?
There was a lot of things that I could do, but I would not do it in the game. I mean, I would do it in batting practice, but Bobby won't allow me to do it in the game. So I know exactly how Yunel felt probably playing for Bobby. You know. But Bobby's an old school coach or manager, and he likes things doing his way.
You talked about the passion of Latin players. They play with a certain sense of joy. Do you think it's important they keep that?
It is very important. If you take that away from a player or Latin player, it's like cutting their legs from underneath. You have to allow them to play the way they like to play. As long as they get the job done, it's no problem with that. It's okay.
It's just the joy of playing the game of baseball.
Exactly. It is just that, a game. When you would stop having fun, then it's no longer a game. It's a job. And if it's a job, it became somewhat tedious.
A ball and 2 strikes to the leadoff batter, Will Rhymes. Third inning, Blue Jays up 3-1. Tony, you're in town here as Rhymes strikes out, takes a fastball. Let's look at this last pitch, Pat.
That good, hard fastball right down Broadway. Will Rhymes cannot pull the trigger. Strikeout number 5 already for Brandon Morrow.
But the Tigers are in town. You played for the Blue Jays when the Tiger-Blue Jays rivalry was at its peak. Talk about the spirit and the competitive nature of that rivalry back in the early 80s.
We loved that rivalry. Coming to Tiger Stadium, I mean, Tiger Town, was like a World Series. Every time we come into that town, I mean, the spirit was high. I mean, you were tense. You know, you really want to give your best. You have to bring your best when you come to Tiger Town. Tiger Stadium, you know, they can always, you can be up. I remember in 1983, you can be up, but in that 8th or 9th inning, you never know if you were going to be able to hold up that lead with that lineup that they had. You know, with Gibson, Trammell, Whitaker, Evans, and so forth, and Berkman. I mean, they hit us good.
2 memorable home runs. Dave Bergman hit one off the foul pole off Roy Lee
Jackson. That's the first one that came to my mind. I would never forget that home run.
It was 12 or 13 pitches, and he finally hit one in the upper deck in extra innings.
Yep.
Another good breaking ball gets Santiago 2 down.
He got Will Rhymes with a smoking fastball. Now with the left-handers, you got to place that breaking ball right underneath his hands. Get him to go ahead and try and swing at it. He does, and Santiago is a strikeout victim.
2 outs now, man at first base.
Writers have been talking about the 87 series between these 2 teams in Detroit, that this series feels like that. End of the season type of week that you guys had.
Yeah, we will never forget the last series that we played. Well, that was right before I broke my elbow for the first time at Exhibition Stadium. I think Ernie went down also with an injury. We believe that cost us the pennant that year. But what intensity. What intensity with that series. I mean, it was tremendous. I wasn't able to see to go to Detroit and play the last series, but I watched over the TV, and boy, oh boy, oh boy, it was just like the World Series.
Yeah, it was a great series, a heartbreaking finish for sure.
That Alan Trammell. Oh, yeah. Alan Trammell was one of the best clutch hitters that I saw in my career. I would like to see him in a close situation. I didn't like seeing Alan Trammell come up to the plate.
How about Lou Whitaker?
Lou was another one.
He was pretty good.
Sweet Lou loved hitting against us. He was able to hook that ball so easily. But I mean, they had a great ball club. But we love playing against them, and I think that's what is baseball all about. You need to have the rivalry.
Great rivalries,
Yes.
and that whole division was loaded with Milwaukee and Boston and Detroit, and the Yankees starting to improve. Johnny Damon chases the outside fastball.
It hasn't changed. You know, they say, well, the Jays need to get off the division. I said, wait a minute. We play on it. We have to face the same teams. No, they don't need to get out of there. If they do get out of it, fine. But I think they are able to compete with anyone, just as we did.
Brandon Morrow, full count pitch. Johnny Damon spoils it. We've seen Johnny Damon play over the years, and it's hard to fathom, but he's got 2,600 hits, and he's had a phenomenal career.
I was noticing that last night. I said, whoa, 2,500, 2,600 hits. At first, when we first saw him, he was a slap hitter. Yes, that guy was.
3-2, 2 outs. There goes the runner. Bouncing ball in at first. He'll take it himself. Damon's retired. Morrow gets out of it. Tony Fernandez, always a pleasure. A great ambassador for the Blue Jays, yourself, and baseball in general. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was my pleasure, Bob. Thank you so much.
Always.
All right.
Of the 20th anniversary of Steve's no-hitter versus Cleveland, the Jays will be honoring Steve on field before the game. This Sunday, that's tomorrow, against the Tigers at 107. First 10,000 fans in attendance will receive a Dave Steve bobblehead. For tickets, 416-341-1234, BlueJays.com, or most Rogers Plus locations.
Well, Dave Steve weekend will be capped off with the bobbleheads tomorrow afternoon. 10,000 bobbleheads to the fans that arrive first at Rogers Center. Tony Fernandez, a great guest. Always great to see him, and he has such a great way of reflecting on his outstanding career in those great times early in the 80s.
I love his ideas about Junel Escobar in the flair and the way he plays the game, and you can't take that away from Latin players.
Well, he was really interesting talking about Bobby Cox, how Bobby looked at Tony once in a while and say, hey, cut that out.
Don't do it in the game. Right?
A ball and a strike to Escobar. 3-1 ball game. Blue Jays scored 3 in the first against Alfredo Figueroa. There's a base hit to right field. Dumped just inside the foul line. Escobar headed for second, but no, he'll throw one in the brakes as Brennan Bosch got to that ball quickly.
Second hit of the afternoon for Escobar. You don't want to be thrown out at second base, not with the meat of the order coming up for the Blue Jays. Jose Bautista moved into the number 3 hole. He's hit all over the place for the Blue Jays this year. Lead off, hit some 7th, hit some 5th. But since he has moved into the number 3 hole, there's only been one number 3 player in the American League to out-homer him, and that is Mark Teixeira.
And it's taken a Teixeira hot streak to keep up with Bautista.
He's had almost 500 at-bats, Teixeira, in the number 3 hole. Bautista just over 200.
Wow.
Bautista has 23 home runs now, that number 3 slot.
Fly ball left field. This ball is hit hard. Kelly's got a beat on it. Makes the catch just in front of the warning track in left field. There's a good example. Bautista didn't really get good extension on that ball. Kind of had his hands near his body when he made contact.
Ball looked like it jammed him a little bit. He didn't hit it on the sweet spot of the bat, but still powerful enough to get it into left center field. Figueroa has a good fastball. That one got in just a hair. Bautista did not have full extension.
Brennan Wells grounded to short his first time up. Escobar at first with the single. A different Figueroa after the first inning. Got through that first inning giving up 3 runs on 3 hits, and he had a 1-2-3 second.
I think he figured out that he can't throw the fastball by some of these hitters, and he has to start changing speeds a little bit more.
But just like the veterans, that first inning is always a challenge, even when you're making just your 4th career start. No balls and a strike to Wells. You know, in talking about young Latin players and Tony Fernandez referencing Junel Escobar, I think it's important with Figueroa growing up in the Dominican Republic, playing in winter ball. They get exposed to a high intensity pressurized atmosphere playing in their home country in very important ball games. I think that serves them well when they make it to the big leagues.
You played winter ball. I played winter ball, and it is intense. Grew up so much as a player when I went from AA and played winter ball down in Puerto Rico, where you're exposed to, 10, 12-year veterans in the major leagues, how to play the game. And the fans are just rabid down there. They just love baseball.
I think it's really unfortunate that this generation of players from North America don't experience that. A ball and 2 strikes to Wells. Cut on and missed. Let's check in with Sam Cosentino.
Well, Buxino Gaston said yesterday he thought he might get Adam Lind a little more time at first base in this final month of the season, but I don't think this is the way he envisioned it. After the 5th inning yesterday, Lyle Overbay taken out of the game, feeling under the weather. In fact, not at the ballpark again today. They haven't diagnosed it the same as what Ricky Romero had with that strep throat, but still not feeling well enough to come to the ballpark, and just in case it's contagious, he's not here today.
And I'm sure that's what the problem was, and obviously Ricky Romero was dealing with it, and you guys down in the clubhouse, very close quarters. Then, of course, one thing that we don't talk about very often is these guys have young families, and a lot of their kids are dealing with illnesses, and they're exposed to that too. And sometimes just a cold or a strep throat, something like that, can knock you up for a couple days.
If you are in that clubhouse too, it can just go right through it like wildfire.
Adam Lind had a base hit his first time up, playing at first base today. Sam mentioned that Cito would like to see Lind over there a little bit more. But here's a perfect example of what we were talking about winter ball, the value of winter ball. If Lind were of the mind to go down and play first base during winter ball. That was a common occurrence years ago. If a position player was going to change position, he'd just sign on with the Winter League team, make some decent money in the Winter League, and then actually have a great competitive atmosphere to learn of.
You can play about 50 or 60, 70 games, something like that. It also gets you ready for spring training. By the time winter ball is over in February, you have a couple of weeks at home and then strap it back on for spring training. Get off to a great start.
A ball and a strike, 2 outs Escobar at first. Breaking ball missed upstairs. You know, a lot of players now, AA players, will go to the Arizona Fall League, but I don't think that does much good at all. I think it's early in the morning. There's nobody in the ballpark. It's like a inter-squad game atmosphere, and I don't think you get that competitive edge you get in winter ball.
And it's minor leaguers versus minor leaguers. Winter ball is about minor league players developing, playing against big leaguers.
You go to Dominican Republic and you play in the latter stages of a season, you're going to face Miguel Tejada. You're going to face some big league pitchers. You're going to see big league hitters. Miguel Cabrera will play from time to time in Venezuela.
Felix Hernandez strapping on too.
Especially during the playoffs. All the big boys come out during the playoffs. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
I played in Puerto Rico a couple of years, and 1 year I played for Santurce. My teammate was my idol, Tony Perez.
Yep.
I was just like, I couldn't talk to him because he's now my teammate, and just watching him do his work really taught me a lot.
There goes Escobar. Ball is drilled down the right field line. It's a fair ball. Escobar around second. He's headed to third. He's getting the wave home. Here's the relay from Rhymes. Not in time. Escobar scored for a second time all the way from first base. That ball was just inside the right field foul line. Blue Jays lead now 4-1.
Junel Escobar getting his sprints in early in this game. Singles in the first inning, comes around on a triple by Bautista, running hard. Now they start the runner, and it works out beautifully for the Blue Jays as Lynn rips the ball into the corner, and with Escobar off on the pitch, going to give him a little bit extra to get ahead ahead of the throw. Lynn drives in a run.
Lynn goes to second on the throw to the plate, so he's in scoring position for Aaron Hill. Hill grounded out to first is first at bat.
What a difference the lineup is when Adam Lind is contributing from the left side. I mean, you've got Bautista who's having a great year. Vernon Wells is driving in runs and hitting home runs, but they haven't had that left-handed power guy to drive in runs. And when Lind is swinging the bat, he can come up and score a runner from first base with 2 outs.
Fly ball right field. Bosch over near the foul line, shading his eyes from the sun. Ball hits off his glove, but I don't think he held on to it. Got right to the wall. Looked like it hit in his glove, but he couldn't hold on to the baseball.
He got to the wall. And as a left-handed throwing outfielder shades the sun, backhand, and it hit the glove, but then ricocheted off of it into the stands.
I don't know if he ever really got his glove on it, but he was fighting the sun, fighting the wall, fighting the fans.
Found a seat in the first row.
So Hill has life. 0-2, 2 outs. Pops this one up. Second baseman Will Rhymes is there near the bag and makes the catch, but the Blue Jays had a run. An RBI single by Adam Lind, his 58th RBI of the season.
SportsNet. Brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Back here at Rogers Center, top of the fourth inning, Miguel Cabrera homered in his last at bat. This is the first time in this series that Cabrera has let off an inning. So you've really minimized the impact of that big bat.
Homered leading off the second inning. Now they get him again in the third inning. Tigers are on a little bit of a home run roll themselves. Talk about the Blue Jays. They have now hit 21 home runs in their last 10 road games. He's been a big part of that.
Well, has been just a little out of sync with that slider from time to time. 2 balls and no strikes. The Tigers, unlike the Blue Jays, happy to go on the road. Get away from that big ballpark. Home run's a little easier to hit away from Comerica.
You got to have this type of power that Miguel Cabrera has to get out of that ballpark. It's a great pitcher's ballpark, I think, with all the space, all the room that you have.
2-1. Got underneath it and skies it to left field. Snyder came in initially. Let that ball carry all the way to the warning track. That's a strong man. He popped it up and drove Snyder right to the wall in left.
375 and he didn't get it. From where we are sitting, looked like he hit it off the end of the bat. It's a breaking ball and it's right off the end of the bat, but he skies it. 375 keeps it in the ballpark.
Again, reminding himself, got underneath it, and that's why he flew out to left.
Go through it instead of up underneath it.
Isn't it amazing how we just kind of characterize guys like Manny Ramirez and Albert Pujols, David Ortiz, and Miguel Cabrera as just hitters? But they know exactly what they're doing at the plate.
You know, I heard that about Manny Ramirez, that he put up great numbers, but he was such an intelligent hitter. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. When I was with the Indians organization as a minor league coach, they would talk about that. Manny Ramirez was so much further ahead of some of those players about thinking at the plate, hunting certain pitches. He had a home run off of Dennis Eckersley a few years ago that hit the scoreboard in Cleveland. Eckersley kept throwing him fastballs and he kept taking it. Finally, till 2 strikes, he threw him a slider. Manny said that was the pitch I was looking for, and he just crushed it.
The ball and 2 strikes to Bosch. Outside. And you know, Manny had some pretty good veteran hitters to watch, and Albert Bell was one of the guys that he grew up watching, and Bell was terrific at sitting on pitches.
Well, you are right about that. He would just sit there until he got his pitch, and then he would unload.
Breaking ball gets Bosch for a second time. Brandon Morrow is winning the battle of roommates. Punched out his college roommate twice already today.
Both of them on the same type of pitch. Breaking ball after a fastball. And Bosch, a little bit over anxious there to get back at his roomie.
It's all serious during the course of the ball game, but you know there's going to be some good-natured ribbon.
Gotcha.
Third ball down and away to Ryan Rayburn. Rayburn got a base hit off the glove of Aaron Hill in the second and extended his personal hit streak to 9 games. Brandon Marr with a 4-1 lead, looking for his 10th win of the season. That would give the Blue Jays 4 starters with 10 or more wins. That's what you're looking for as a ball club.
Yeah. It's been a while since the Blue Jays have had 4 in double figures also.
2007, the last time the Blue Jays had 4 starters with 10 or more wins. But that's how you win championships. You get your pitchers to win games and get a lot of decisions. Fastball in there.
See, Tampa just got 5. Wade Davis won this week, coming off the DL.
How about that? Well, you talk about a pennant race. Yankees, Rays, and the Red Sox, oh, by the way. Fly ball, deep center field. Vernon Wells on the run, on the track, makes the catch. Ball getting blown all over the place out there in the outfield, but Wells has got the wheels to stay with it. Rayburn hit it hard, but Wells runs it down on the warning track in deep center field. Great catch.
Sharp Aquos Quadron TV plus Blu-ray player. Quadron, it's 4 colors, not 3. To enter, visit hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. That's hitahomerunwithsharp.ca.
No home runs yet for the Blue Jays. Miguel Cabrera for the Tigers hit his 33rd home run, a solo shot into second. Be the bottom third of the order for the Jays. Snyder, Encarnacion, and the catcher, Jose Molina. Alfredo Figueroa. Figueroa has figured it out. This ball is not going to get caught. Off the wall. Snyder around first. He's headed for second. Now he makes the turn, but stops around second. A leadoff double for Snyder.
He was covering the first pitch. If Figueroa threw him a strike, Travis Snyder all over it. If he could only get that ball in the air, he'd have a home run. Extension, and then he drives the ball. He's just got natural power in that bat where he could muscle balls to the deepest part of the ballpark. Ball jumps off of his bat.
Edwin Encarnacion popped up to center field his first time up. Blue Jays trying to take advantage of the leadoff double. Back out of play. Figueroa had a tough first inning, but has settled down pretty effectively. Had a 1-2-3 second. Gave up a run in the third. But boy, early on, it looked like he wasn't going to be around very long. And he still might not be.
Still trying to figure out in that first inning what he needed to do to get the batters out. Threw a lot of fastballs, and they hit him hard.
Base hit into center. Snyder went back just in case it was caught. He can only go to third. Had to make sure where that ball was. Encarnacion gets his first hit of the afternoon.
He was at second base in Boston when there was a ball hit back through the middle. This time he's going to be absolutely sure of this line drive. Takes 1.5 steps back to the bag. Better safe than sorry. He'll move up 90 feet, and the Blue Jays have something going again.
First and third, nobody out. McNabb, pitching coach, with a very deliberate walk to the mound. Bullpen is active. Problem that the Tigers have down in their bullpen is Figueroa is their long man, and he started here today.
They had 7 relievers to start this series. When Bonderman came up a little bit lean for this start, they had to take Figueroa out. Now they only have 6, and we played extra innings yesterday. They went through a couple of pitchers out of that pen yesterday.
And Brad Thomas is warming up, and he's basically a matchup left-hander. They have 3 left-handers and now 3 right-handers down in their bullpen. And most of them are one-inning pitchers.
Right now, Jimmy Leland can't wait till September 1st where they can expand the rosters.
First and third, nobody out. Jose Molina grounded to short his first time up. Blue Jays with a chance to build their lead. Popped up on the infield. Cabrera fighting the sun. Molina's retired. Well, it is a tough Sunday for fielders. That ball got right up in the sun, and Cabrera used that glove very effectively.
Tough for the umpires, too. You see Brian O'Nora down there. He was fighting the sun to see where he had to go. That's what the the fielders get to look up into.
First and third now for Fred Lewis with 1 out. Off the road. Inge comes to the plate. Out at home plate, and Snyder's got a beef. Cito Gaston's going to come out. Snyder had his leg on the plate before the ball was in the glove of the catcher.
I have to agree with you. There is no way that Avila, the catcher, could catch the ball, reach for the ball, expose himself, and then come down and make the tag. First of all, a heads-up play by Brandon Inge, the third baseman. Let's take a look at the replay. Ball hit hard, and you see Avila.
Not even close.
Not even close. He is past home plate.
And he couldn't have enough strength in that leg to block off Snyder.
That's what I mean.
Slides right over the plate. Not even close.
Yeah, well, he has to reach for the ball, expose himself. Look at this. Safe right there. He's on the plate. Not even close. And then the umpire's looking right at it.
He might not have ever tagged him after all. But he's out nonetheless. Yunel Escobar grounds it to short. Blue Jays lose an opportunity to score. Controversial call at the plate, but they still hold a 4-1 lead here after 4.
Real Salt Lake, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on Sportsnet Ontario and Pacific. Be sure to tune in to halftime as a lucky contest winner goes for $75,000 in the Boot for Loot.
A little bit of fireworks here at Rogers Center. Brandon Morrow back to work the 5th inning. Morrow has a 4-1 lead against the Tigers. Brandon Inge will lead things off. Boy, what a heads-up play by Inge. He didn't have much of a shot to do anything but throw to first, but then came home, made a good play, but you could see Snyder beat the tag at the plate. Line drive knocked down by Encarnacion, bounced in off the bag. Glenn said, I was on there. Brian O'Nora, the first base umpire, called in safe. And now O'Nora is coming over to have a chat with Lind about the call.
Well, you be the judge. Does he keep his foot on? It's a good call.
Yep. Oh, he gets back
oh,
on
wait
the
a minute.
base.
Ah.
How about that? It was clearly off the base, but he beat Inge to the bag.
0 for 2. You're right. He came off on that low throw by Encarnacion, but he had the presence of mind to go right back on the bag way before Inge got there.
Don Kelly, the center fielder. There's a strike, the ball, and a strike to Kelly. When they're coming fast and furious, bang, bang plays for the umpires. One at the plate, and now one at first. Two balls and a strike.
If you are keeping score at home, that's an error on the third baseman. Encarnacion on the low throw. His 15th of the season. Good play to stay in front of that one, but the low throw. Got him the error.
It's popped up outside of third. Encarnacion has room. Makes the catch. Kelly's retired.
You could win an all-new Honda CRZ and other great prizes when you vote for the Honda Play of the Month. Vote today at BlueJays.com.
Back here at Rogers Center, you know, there's so much talk about Adam Lind moving into first base, and I'm not questioning whether or not he can do it, but that points out just exactly how many different things are involved with playing first. You're just not a slug over there standing there at first base. Good first basemen like Lyle Overbay, they can do so many things that help you that don't get noticed. They get noticed by the coaches and the infielders, but they don't get noticed by the fans, the media, the broadcasters. But boy, the subtleties of playing first base. And I'm not suggesting that Lind can't do that, but when you're over there for a very short time, sometimes you're exposed.
Third start of his career. Remember in the olden days when they said, well, an outfielder can't run anymore, let's move him to first base? It's too tough.
No, it's a very important position. You can save your infielders so many errors. And you give them confidence knowing that if they throw it in the vicinity, you can dig it out of the dirt, you can come off the bag, get back. Overbay does such a great job at first.
How many times has Cito Gaston said, you know, Lyle Overbay has saved us so many games just with his glove.
Jim Leland was talking about Overbay in this series, saying, you know what, he is such a good first baseman. If you can pump up the offensive numbers around the infield, Overbay is a real asset. And that's just the makeup of your ball club. If Aaron Hill had a year like he did last year, and if Lynn was driving in runs like he did last year and hitting home runs and hitting for the 300 average, then Overbay would be a plus first baseman for you. Hitting for a 270 average and driving in 80 runs. Base hit to right field. Inge goes around second, headed for third. Throw comes into second. Avila with a ringing single to right.
Here's another thing about that play at first base is it gives Brandon Morrow more pitches. Pump up that pitch count for Morrow. He'd be pitching with 2 outs, nobody on, facing the number 9 hitter. Maybe he changes things a little bit more. Now he's got to work a little bit harder. Max effort on every pitch now to try and get through the 5th inning.
Yeah, and that's another thing you always talk about when you're talking about Minnesota and teams like that. They don't make any errors and they save their pitchers those extra pitches and extend their innings. Cito Gaston out there. Nobody warming up in the bullpen, so this is a little more about conversation with Gaston here. We have seen this in the past, and Gaston will come out, make sure Morrow's okay, because he's concerned that he doesn't see the velocity he'd like to see. But he just went out, asked Morrow, "You okay?" Morrow nodded his head. I can imagine Cito said something to the effect, "Well, let's go, get him out."
Yeah, you squeezed. A couple of bad calls have gone against us. Now let's pick up your teammates right here. Make pitches.
So the leadoff batter, Will Rhymes, is stepping in. Rhymes hit a double, and he's also struck out. Rhymes, a good contact hitter, tough guy to double up. First and third, one out. Slaps it out of play. Little contact hitters are tough. They don't take too big a swing. They don't really make them so vulnerable to the strikeout. Rhymes just thinking about putting the ball in play.
Morrow got him last time with a good breaking ball right underneath his hands. Right now, he's looking for something on the ground.
0-1. Fastball away.
Outfield is shaded to left field. They're also shallow. They know the type of hitter that he is. He just likes to slap at it and run. Got a little pop, though. Had some numbers down in AAA, which were pretty good. I like his swing. I like the way he goes about his business.
Stays behind that one and fouls it out of play. College player, played at William & Mary, 27 years old. Getting his first opportunity in the big leagues. Played all year last year in AAA Toledo. 1-2. Bounced on the ground. Morrow comes to the plate in time to get Inge. Morrow very deliberate in the spin, but made a good throw to Molina, who tagged out Inge.
That is the key, that he took his time. He didn't panic. He knew that he had a shot at the plate if he makes a good throw. Inge has got to go on anything on the ground, and Morrow, watch how deliberate, no panic in the way that he went after this ball. Catches it, spins, and throws a strike to Molina to get the runner at the plate.
Molina, with that glove, went right to the front edge of home plate and tagged Inge as he was sliding across the plate. 2 down now, 2 on.
You know, it looks simple, you know, a little comebacker to the pitcher, but how many times have we seen that play messed up time and time again? When pitchers hurry, they get excited. You know, it's not like you're out in your backyard making plays. You're in front of everybody here. Got to make that play.
Good breaking ball, cut on and missed by Santiago. 0-2. Cito Gaston always gets credit for the way he has mentored hitters. I think this year he's done a great job of developing the pitching staff, especially the starters. Strike 3 call. Morrow comes all the way back and pitches out of a first and third situation. Gets Inge at the plate and then strikes out Santiago to end the inning. Paul Kent's a TD Canada Trust contest winner for August, courtesy of TD Canada Trust. Sitting at the ballpark, beautiful day, great venue, and a great place to watch a ball game in the front row. Jose Bautista, you see the American League home run leader, Bautista, 9 ahead of Miguel Cabrera, Konerko with 31, Hamilton with 30. Out in front of that pitch and pulls it foul.
We were talking last at bat that Bautista has hit almost as many home runs as Mark Teixeira in the number 3 hole in half the at-bats. He's had 87 at-bats in the number 7 hole, and he's behind Lyle Overbay, the leader in the American League. That is production.
Well, and I think the big thing, too, is his average is 264, very respectable. But, boy, you put it with that power. Really jumps out at you. Breaking ball just off the plate outside.
How about his on-base percentage? 381. He'll combine base hits and production, but he'll also take his walks when they give it to him.
And a breaking ball well out of the strike zone. Bautista in the top 10 in on-base percentage in the American League. 3-1. He walked him.
You could win an all-new Honda CRZ and other great prizes when you vote for the Honda Play of the Month. Vote today at BlueJays.com.
Leadoff man aboard here in the 5th inning. Vernon Wells 0 for 2. Had an RBI ground out in the first, part of a 3-run first inning. Bautista with the walk. His 82nd of the year. That leads the American League. Pretty good combination. Lead the American League in home runs and walks. Respect.
Barry Bonds used to do that all the time. He won a few MVP awards. That is respect. It's also a pretty good eye.
Vernon Wells pops it up over in front of the Blue Jays dugout. Avila doesn't have a play. Fan had perfect position on it and just booted it.
And he doesn't get the ball, does he? No, he does get the ball. That boy went up there and gave it to him anyway.
Yeah, they knew he had bad hands, so they rolled it to him. So Wells in a hole 0-1. Two teams split the first 2 games of this 4-game series. Tigers won 7-1 on Thursday night. Blue Jays had that 3-2 win in the 11th last night. In the dirt. Alfredo Figueroa did a nice job of settling down. He's kept his club in this ballgame. Brad Thomas is up in the bullpen again. He was up earlier behind Figueroa. Ground ball to short. Santiago for second. Rhymes to first. Double play. Boy, a good quick double play by the middle infield of the Tigers. Santiago starting at shortstop. Does a good job as Rhymes gets it. And turns 2.
Sweet turn in the middle of the diamond. First by Santiago, the shortstop. Santiago quickly gets the ball to Rhymes. Gives him a very good feed. Watch how quick Rhymes at second base unloads with Bautista bearing down on him. 6-4-3 double play. Those two right there had a lot to do with it.
First time we've gotten to see Will Rhymes. Adam Lynn lifts it high and deep to left field. Over near the wall is Ryan Rayburn. He makes the catch. A quick inning for Alfredo Figueroa. Kept his ball club in it. It's 4-1. Blue Jays lead after 5. Barfield, a home run hitter. First Blue Jay to lead the American League in home runs. Jesse Barfield hit 40 home runs at Exhibition Stadium, part of a great building era of the ball club. Jesse was one of the guys that came through the system very quickly, made the promotion from Double-A to the big leagues, and this is the part I love. The arm. Great throwing arm, great home run hitter, Jesse Barfield. Welcome to the booth. Great to see you.
Good to be here, guys.
We've obviously had an opportunity to catch up with a lot of you guys, and it's great to see you back. And I think it's important that you come back to show the younger team now the future, what has happened here in the history of this great franchise.
Oh, without a doubt. And when you come back with guys like Tony and Dave and the cornerstones of the franchise, it's very important because we appreciate what they did, but what we did is still important too.
Adam Lind cut in front of Aaron Hill, and he couldn't make the play, and that kind of distracted Hill, and Johnny Damon reaches.
As a first baseman, if you can get the ball, go ahead and get it. If not, get out of the way to give your second baseman a good view of that ball. And I think he blocked Aaron Hill a little bit. Playing deep, ball on the ground by Damon. You either peel off or you go ahead and just make the play. Aaron Hill's got plenty of time to get in front of it. And that will be an error by Adam Lind, his first of the season.
Actually charged Hill with the error at second base. So Miguel Cabrera is up. Jesse, you talk about Bautista. You've seen him now. You've seen what a great year he's having. But speak to his ability to recognize and take the walks. He also leads the American League in walks. That's a great combination.
It really is a great combination. For a guy that stands that close to home plate, he has to be very quick inside, and he is. He reacts quick to the pitch, and if they make a mistake, he makes them pay for it.
When you watch him swing a bat, what's the one thing that pops out for you?
The way he pulls his hands in, the quickness that he has, and he can turn on a 95, 97 mile per hour fastball, and that's indicative of the way he really pulls the ball and the power that he has straight away to left field.
He has done a great job in playing in right field defensively, too, and I'm not going to put him in your class because you were in a class by yourself, as far as I'm concerned, with your throwing, but characterize his play in right field as well.
Well, the first time I saw him, I was impressed. And I was talking to Rance, and I said the sound off his bat and the way he throws, this is really an athlete. This guy can really play ball. And I'm glad that he's got a chance to shine. I'm glad he's got a chance to play the way he's capable of playing.
Cabrera to Escobar to Hill, double play. The Blue Jays continue to minimize the impact of Miguel Cabrera.
And after the error by Aaron Hill, Brandon Morrow picks up his teammate again, makes a good pitch to a very dangerous hitter, gets it on the ground, and wipes out that error. Escobar to Hill, over to Lynn, just like that, 6-4-3, there's two down.
Jesse, when you first came up to the Blue Jays in the middle 80s, you came from Double-A. You were a teammate of Dave Steebs, and what was your first impression when you had a chance to see Steve work for the first time?
Well, I remember him as an outfielder, so the first time I saw him pitch, and I'm thinking, man, this guy has a tremendous throwing arm. The movement he had on his fastball, the late break on his slider, he was untouchable.
Where'd you see him pitch?
I had never seen him pitch before. He was drafted as an outfielder.
Yeah.
And we played alongside each other in Dunedin. And after he swung the bat for a few times, and he actually hit a home run to right field at Grant Field, but he was much better on the mound.
Now, he always told us that he could have played outfield. Now, what's your impression? You saw him play.
Buck, I'm telling you, if we took infield and he threw right on the money, and he had a great arm, an accurate arm, a lot like Bautista out there from right field. One hops right exactly where he wanted to throw it.
Brennan Bosch strikes out for the third time this afternoon. Jesse Barfield, always a pleasure. Enjoy the weekend, and thanks for stopping by.
Thanks a lot.
Great to see you, buddy.
You too, man.
Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Any accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. A spectacular day next to the CN Tower in Toronto. Rogers Center is the site. Third game. Brandon Morrow with 6 strong innings. The manager over talking after that last inning. Generally, that indicates that Morrow's day has come to an end. It has. Another outstanding start. He's in line for his 10th win.
The one bad pitch, the home run to Cabrera. The only blemish, 4 hits. And if he is indeed done, that'll be 12 times this season with at least 8 strikeouts in a game.
Figueroa has straightened things out. Brandon Morrow sitting with his pitching coach and his starting rotation partner Sean Martin. To the gap in right center. Nobody's going to get this one. One hop off the wall. Hill around first, headed for second. Bosch bobbles it. Hill makes the 2. Going to third. No throw. Aaron Hill starting to come around with the bat.
And it isn't amazing using the whole field. Singles to right field yesterday for the game winner. And then smokes a ball up the gap to begin the 6th inning here.
Hill will be credited with a double and third base on the year by Brennan Bosch, and Jim Leland is out. Take the ball from his young starter. Did a pretty good job. Hill's double knocks him out of the ball game. 4-1 Blue Jays. One batter and really holds his own, keeping the Blue Jays in it. Brennan Bosch commits an error that allows Hill to hold third.
Watch where this pitch is. They wanted to go in its away, but Hill doesn't give any ground, stays right on top of it. Ball goes against the wall. Bosch is going to be credited when he goes after this ball with his bare hand. Got to use your glove. He'll be credited with his 8th error of the season already, and Hill will move up 90 feet to third base.
New pitcher is the left-hander, Brad Thomas. Thomas faced one batter in last night's game. That was Adam Lynn, got him to ground out. Infield is drawn in for Travis Snyder. Nobody out. First pitch fastball for a strike. Snyder doubled to the power alley in right center. That led off the 4th inning, but he was stranded, actually thrown out at the plate on a controversial call by the home plate umpire, Phil Cousy. Ball on a strike. Blue Jays are up by 3.
Snyder has done a better job this year hitting left-handers. Times last year versus lefties, he wasn't really sure. Now he's keeping that front shoulder in. He's got that batting average up against the lefties to 265.
Very respectable. He hit 265 against the lefties and hopefully get up around 300 against the righties. Big run at third. Off the plate. There's no one warming up in the Tigers bullpen, so unlike last night, Thomas will be asked to get more than just one batter out. 3-1. Drilled to center field. Kelly on the run. Kelly's not going to make this play. It's off the bottom of the wall. Hill comes in to score. Snyder has his second double of the afternoon. 5-1 Blue Jays.
He kept that front shoulder in that time against the tough lefty. Runner at third base, you are looking for a pitch that you can get into the outfield with authority to get him in. Finds himself in a good hitter's count, stays right over that ball and covers the outside part of the plate. Kelly was playing him rather shallow in center field, so he can't get back and catch that ball. Phil scores the fifth run of the game for the Blue Jays, and a chance now for an inning to get these runs in.
Snyder's hit the ball hard 3 times today. Second double of the afternoon. Lined out to third his first time up.
That would have been a double. That would have been right down the line, but a great play by Inge.
Encarnacion takes a first pitch changeup for a strike. And right back with an off-speed pitch. Missed the inside corner. Ball on the strike. 5-1 Blue Jays. Got off to a great start, scored 3 runs in the first inning. We mentioned the Tigers bullpen kind of thin with Figueroa starting today. He was their long man in the bullpen. He had to start because of the injury to Jeremy Bonderman. So now some of these one-inning guys and some of these matchup guys are going to be asked to pitch a little longer. Just foul outside of third.
They have Bonine out there who has started some games before in the past for Jimmy Leyland. We have not seen Schlereth this series, and we have not seen Valverde in this series.
Thomas not quite sure what he wants to do here on this 2-2 pitch. Stepped off the rubber. You get another sign from Alex Avila. Encarnacion fouls it off. Looked like an off-speed pitch changeup that he was able to get a piece of. Jam, little looper in front of Rhymes at second. Encarnacion's retired. Alfredo Figueroa got off to a rocky start, but he hung in there for 5 innings.
Gave him some depth as Figueroa goes 5+ innings, spaced out 8 hits. He'll be charged with 5 earned runs. He walked the first batter. He faced Fred Lewis on 4 pitches. He came around to score, but then only 1 walk the rest of the way. The only strikeout he had was Vernon Wells in the 3rd inning. So Figueroa does a nice job in his first start this season.
Made 3 starts last year for the Tigers and started exclusively in AAA. So there's 1 out now for the Blue Jays catcher Jose Molina, looking for his first hit. A good rip at the high fastball. One out, one in. Travis Snyder's at second. He drove in. Aaron Hill with a double off the base of the center field wall. 0-2.
Jays are having some funky swings against Brad Thomas. They have already faced him a few times this season. Doesn't really overpower you. Sinker slider type of left-hander. It's been good over his last 5 outings. He's only given up a couple of hits the last 5 times he has come into a ball game.
Molina cuts on and misses this outside pitch. It's a strikeout. 2 outs here in the 6th inning. Commentator clothing provided in part by Z Zenya. Statistical information provided by Stats Inc. Music provided by Universal Canada. 6th inning, Blue Jays lead it 5-1. 2 outs. Fred Lewis, the batter. Swings at the first pitch and fouls it right off home plate. Lewis got everything started this afternoon with the leadoff walk in the first. He came around to score. He scored on Jose Bautista's 2-run triple to right. Just off the outside corner. That's a good slider for a strike. You're right, there are some herky-jerky movements in Thomas's delivery that's kind of baffled the hitters so far.
They haven't had good swings at him so far in this inning. Encarnacion had that humpback liner to the second baseman, and Molina struck out.
Cut on and missed. Thomas comes back and strikes out 2. But the Blue Jays add a run. The RBI double by Travis Snyder has made it 5-1. We've played 6 innings here at Rogers Center. Jason Frazier comes out the pen to take over for Brandon Morrow. Game 4 of the Tigers and the Jays, Brandon. Mark Zebchinski goes against Rick Porcello. Action begins at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 9:30 p.m. Pacific Time, with the Jays Connected pregame show, all on Sportsnet channels.
Brandon Morrow's afternoon comes to a close. 6 very solid innings with 9 strikeouts. Jason Frazier will take over. We have seen Jason 2 out of the last 3 games on this homestand. An inning and a third in those 2 appearances. Came in yesterday's game, struck out Santiago, who was a pinch hitter, and then got a pop-up in the game. So back at it again this afternoon.
Jumps out ahead of Ryan Rayburn with a fastball, just misses the inside corner. Frazier's fastball has been very good of late. This is his 56th appearance.
3 wins, 3 saves. Check out the strikeouts. More than an inning. 1 an inning when he comes into a game.
2 balls and a strike. Brandon Morrow, another very good outing here at Rogers Center. He's pitched great at home coming in this game. A 7-1 home record. Breaking ball drilled, but foul. Going to reach the upper deck.
You know what I like about the start this afternoon from Brandon Morrow? When his teammates made mistakes behind him, he picked them up. Helped out his teammates after some errors and made big pitches in big situations.
The air by Encarnacion started off the 5th. He was able to strand that base runner, and then Johnny Damon reached on an air in the 6th. Morrow turned that into a double play. Fair ball, third base. Long throw in time to get Rayburn. Good play by Encarnacion. Let's take a look at Brandon Morrow's line for the afternoon.
And a nice stretch by Lind on the other half. 4 hits given up. The only mistake, the home run by Miguel Cabrera. That's where he gets that 1 earned run. 98 pitches, and with those 9 strikeouts now, give him 174 on the season. Here's the strong throw from Encarnacion, flat-footed, but watch how Lind reaches around the base runner. Keeps his foot on that bag for a nice play.
Good play by Encarnacion with the throw. Good stretch by Adam Lind at first. Third baseman Brandon Inge. A ball and strike. Blue Jays bullpen has been lights out. We've talked so much about the development of the young starters, but at the same time, you can't overlook what the bullpen has done.
It was an interesting way to get through the game yesterday. Sean Markham, I thought, pitched a really good game. He gave up 8 hits in 6 innings, but he only gave up 1 earned run. Then it was 2/3 of an inning for Carlson, 2/3 of an inning for Jason Frazier, 2/3 of an inning for Scott Downs, Greg an inning, and then Sean Camp. Two very good innings to pick up the W.
Jose Molina really got rocked with that last foul ball. And he wears that hockey-style mask the way John Buck wears the same mask, but that one caught him flush. And you can see he's going to take his time to regroup a little bit.
Inge fouls one right there, jarring his face mask.
Take a look at how flush that hits him. The mask is designed with the plastic to deflect the balls off to the side, but that one stayed right on that cage and really rocked his world. On drive down the left field line. That ball is near the seats and back into the seats, out of play. You know, but there's so much talk nowadays about concussions. Jason Bay has been out since late July. Justin Morneau's been out since July 7th because of concussions. Catchers have problems with the foul tips as well. Mike Matheny, who played here and was a long-time outstanding catcher, had to retire because of the effect of concussions over the course of his career.
Foul tips.
Foul tips. Put on and missed. Frazier strikes out Inge. 2 down here in the 7th.
No foul tip from Brandon Inge on that one. That was straight heat away from Frazier. There is his strikeout per inning as he dials up and away against Brandon Inge.
10th strikeout of the afternoon for the Blue Jays pitchers. Monroe had 9 in his 6 innings. Just missed the outside corner. One of the big problems for the Tigers in this series has been hitting with runners in scoring position. For the series, they are 3 for 28. Had plenty of opportunities, but haven't been able to take advantage of them. But some of that credit and some of that problem is caused by the Blue Jays pitchers.
Yeah, let's talk about the pitchers. Last night alone, they left 16 runners on base.
A ball and 2 strikes. 2 outs here in the 7th. Jim Leyland has some young hitters in this lineup, and he knows with young hitters you're going to have some growing pains. But there are an awful lot of good things going on with the Tigers. Saw Max Scherzer in the opener of the series. Young, hard-throwing right-hander. And Verlander in the prime of his career. Breaking ball, strike 3. Late call from Cousin. Kelly's not sure about it, but he'll reluctantly walk back toward the dugout. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Jason Frazier. A 1-2-3 7th inning. 5.
And free jersey cresting at the J Shop. Valid on all Majestic branded jerseys. The offer valid until tomorrow. Check out jshop.ca or 1-877-JSHOP for all your locations.
New pitcher for the Tigers will be Daniel Schlereth. First time we have seen Schlereth in this series. He was involved in that trade with Arizona. He was a highly touted top draft pick of the Diamondbacks. He ends up here in Detroit as part of this rebuilding process.
What a haul they get in that trade. They get Austin Jackson, Max Scherzer, and Daniel Schlereth. He's got a good fastball with good sinking action on it, two-seamer. Curveball, a cutter, and a changeup. This is his second go-round with the Tigers this year.
Escobar, big 2-hopper to Santiago. It's short. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 7th.
He's a strikeout arm that can put in that bullpen. Through 49 innings down in AAA for Toledo and had 60 strikeouts. That was the 4th amongst International League relievers, averaging almost 11 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched. Got a very good breaking ball. Got to be tough on lefties.
Just 24 years old. Good fastball, 93. You get that kind of power arm out of the bullpen, you've got something.
With good movement. His best pitch might be his curveball. It's a swing and miss pitch.
Breaking ball pulled into the seats. Oh, and 2. One out here in the 7th. Breaking ball trailed to center field. Kelly on the run. Kelly won't get this one off the top of the wall. Bautista's headed for second, makes the turn. The relay throw from shortstop and plenty of time to get Bautista. Jose Bautista, going for his second triple of the day, is thrown out at third base.
Oh my, he came about 3 feet from hammering his 43rd home run of the season. Needs some oxygen as he gets into that dugout. Here's the pitch, breaking ball, just crushed to center field on a line. Look how close this one came, about 3 feet. Finally run down by Kelly, and he hits the cutoff man. That's the most important thing. Hits the cutoff man, and then Santiago with the throw to Inge, and Bautista's out easily at third base.
Or Santiago made a quick relay and a perfect strike throw to third. Not a bad gamble at that point for Bautista. 1 out to get in to third base, but Kelly made a strong throw to the cutoff man, and Santiago converted it. 2 outs now. Vernon Wells with a 1-1 count. Fly ball to right center. Bosch giving chase and runs it down. Bautista gets a long double to center field, so it's in support of his defense. Toronto up 5-1. Brian Talbot. Jays, 5 runs on 10 hits, lead the Tigers 5-1. John McDonald takes over defensively at third base. He'll replace Edwin Encarnacion. And after a good 1-2-3 inning for Jason Frazier, it's the left-hander Brian Talent on to work the 8th.
Blue Jays used 5 relievers in yesterday's extra inning game, so Brian Talent's going to come in the 8th inning. I believe it's the first time we have seen him this late in a game. He's made some starts for the Blue Jays. He's pitched in long relief. Last time he pitched was 4 days ago when he had to come in long relief against the Yankees.
Alex Avila, the catcher, singled and walked. Hit a sharp single into right in the 5th inning. Ball on the strike. Just foul outside of first. Blue Jays scored 3 runs in the first inning. Jose Bautista, 2-run triple. Vernon Wells, an RBI groundout. Very quickly against Alfredo Figueroa. Tigers countered with a run in the second, solo home run by Miguel Cabrera. Blue Jays added a run in the third and a run in the sixth. It's 5-1.
They've had some runners on, too. Haven't been able to cash them. Travis Snyder got thrown out at the plate. That looked like it could have gone either way.
Two. Avila checked his swing. The appeal to third. Jerry Crawford said no swing.
Well, they have some left-handers coming up this inning. Downs has worked a lot the last few games. Jesse Carlson has worked a lot. You got to bring in that third left-hander. He's got to pitch in a big part of the game.
You got a 4-run lead in the 8th inning. You hope that Brian Talent can close it out.
Yeah, Avila hits 150 versus left-hander. That's why you have to bring him in. Rhymes is another one, another left-hander.
Got it. Talent strikes out the first batter he faces, goes up and away to get Avila.
Six strikeouts in 20 at-bats versus left-handed pitching, and that's why you go right after him. Talent paints the outside corner. Avila can't hold up. It's a strikeout. And once Cito Gaston brought in the left-hander, Jim Leland's going to start going to his bench.
Casper Wells came on in the game last night as a pinch hitter in the 8th inning. He lined out to right field. One out here in the 8th. Big swing and a miss on the fastball. Tigers have had plenty of opportunities to score during the course of this series and really haven't taken advantage of the base runners they've put on. They won 7-1 in the opener, lost 3-2 in 11 last night. Base hit center field, Casper Wells. Wells gets a pinch hit single.
That game last night that you were just talking about the Tigers, they had 13 hits in the game. Second time since 1986 that the Tigers had 13 or more hits and scored 2 or fewer runs. They just couldn't come up with a big base hit.
1 for 14 with runners in scoring position last night. That's doubly frustrating when you lose 3-2 in 11.
You can go back and start thinking about this inning, this inning, this inning, and this inning.
And managers do that all night long. 1 out, 1 on. Ramon Santiago, the shortstop, bats from the right side for the first time. Popped out of play by Santiago.
You know what I'm thinking about right now.
Big Miguel Cabrera.
Always a guy in the lineup that you have to be aware of where he is all the time.
Yeah, you always look at your lineup card as a manager, sitting in the dugout, and you look up on the side of that thing, go, okay, let me see, I got a 4-run lead. Cabrera's batting fourth. A couple guys get on. You know exactly where this guy is.
Yeah. It's like when you would go into Boston, the Red Sox, and you'd always see, all right, where's Manny and where's Big Papi? And it seems like they were always coming up to the plate in big situations.
As a manager, you sometimes feel like it's a 6-man lineup. Are they up again?
Didn't we just face them?
How many times are you going to hit? Tell your bench coach, check the lineup. Is he hitting out of order?
It sure seems that way, doesn't it?
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Just missed the inside corner. And these are the at-bats that are so crucial in a 4-run game. The leadoff batter spot, Casper Wells with a pinch hit single with 1 out. Now Santiago gets on, then Johnny Damon gets on, and you're dealing with danger. 3-2, 1 out. Wells at first. Fly ball down the left field line. Ball hooking into foul ground and out of play. Got out in front of it, hit it off the end of the bat, just hooked it into the seats. Santiago's a tough customer. He has struck out twice today. Morrow got him twice, once swinging and once looking. But then again, Brandon Morrow gets a lot of guys. 174 strikeouts now for the season.
12 times with at least 8 in a game.
Another full count pitch to Santiago. He walked him. Ball goes all the way back to the screen. Wells will stop at second. Check in with Sam Cosentino.
Kia Toronto FC. The Reds are in action tonight from BMO Field. Toronto FC versus Real Salt Lake, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on Sportsnet Ontario and Pacific. Be sure to tune into the halftime as a lucky contestant gets a chance to win $75,000 in the boot for loot.
So first and second now, 1 out. Johnny Damon, the batter. Damon is 0 for 3. He reached on an error in the 6th inning, but was erased on the double play off the bat of Miguel Cabrera. First pitch strike from Talent. Got the call on the high fastball. Damon has faced Talent a lot. He's 8 for 24 with a home run. That's a .333 average.
This is a huge at bat. Just from that last shot that we saw, you see who is on deck. You want to get Damon, or you want to get one of those runners on base. So Cabrera, when he comes up, he's not the tying run.
Now Molina went out to deliver the next pitch verbally to Talent. Scott Downs is beginning to loosen up. Talent ahead 0-2. Breaking ball got him. Good pitch. Brian Talent went down and away with the breaking ball and strikes out Johnny Damon.
Very quickly he gets rid of Johnny Damon, a very clutch and a very tough hitter in these situations late in the game. It's a slider. Damon swings right through it, and with that strikeout of Johnny Damon, Talent can stay in the game and does not face the tying run. Even if Cabrera hits it out here, you're still leading.
2 outs, 2 on. Fastball outside. Miguel Cabrera with a home run in the second. Made a home run in last night's game. Good pitch. Cut on the fastball. Molina is going out to top to Talent. Molina was set up inside. That ball was all the way across the plate outside.
Normally I'd say, hey, good pitch. He kept it away from a power hitter, but we've seen him do this before.
Yeah, once he gets extension, he can hit it out literally from foul pole to foul pole. So Molina's got an idea. No sign, and they'll attack Cabrera here. Popped him up. Right field, Bautista coming in over near the line. Makes the catch. Talent gets out of it. Brian Talent did a great job. He and Molina hooked up. They neutralized Cabrera. Blue Jays lead by 4. Yankees take on the Chicago White Sox tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time on Sportsnet West. Great pitching matchup. A couple of left-handers. CC Sabathia looking for his 18th win. He'll go up against John Danks, 12-8 on the season. The White Sox hammered the Yankees last time. A.J. Burnett has been awful over his last 15 starts.
Been super struggling. A couple of changes for the Tigers. Casper Wells, who stays in the game in left field. And Ryan Rayburn, who started the game in left field, comes in at second base. Rayburn has played some second base. He's made 15 starts there for the Tigers.
Adam Lind had a big day at the plate. Ben's back from that breaking ball, 0-2.
Boy, you are right about A.J. Burnett. He has been getting his lunch handed to him this season for the Yankees. The stretch that he is going through has just been brutal.
And without 9 runs in last night's game, 8 earned runs in 3 1/3 against the White Sox. He is 3-10 with a 6.86 ERA over his last 15 starts. That's the worst 15-start stretch for a starting pitcher in Yankee history.
And that's a big history.
A long time. Strike 3 call. Schlereth gets Adam Lind to start the 8th inning. His first strikeout of the afternoon.
60 strikeouts in the minor leagues in 49 innings. You can see why. A good hard breaking ball. That is a swinging brisk breaking ball. Lind elects to take it, and it'll cost him a strikeout.
Aaron Hill takes a first pitch strike. Hill had a double to right field and came in to score on the RBI double by Travis Snyder. No balls and a strike. Breaking ball just missed the outside corner. Daniel Schlereth, the name is familiar to you. His father is Mark Schlereth, who played in the NFL for 12 seasons. Played with the Redskins and the Denver Broncos. 1-1 pitch to Hill. Mark Schlereth is now a football analyst on ESPN. And Daniel pitched at University of Arizona.
So much has been talked over the last few days about Tommy John surgery. Schlereth had it his first year at the University of Arizona.
2-1 inside. It certainly is disappointing to hear Steven Strasburg is going to undergo Tommy John surgery, but it's not the end of the world. And then listening to him in his press conference, he was pretty matter of fact about it. Not really overly concerned.
I like what he said about it. He said, you know, I've strived to be one of the best pitchers that I've been. Now I'm going to strive to have one of the best rehabs after the surgery. That tells me something for a 22-year-old.
Yeah, he's got a lot of character. He also said, I'll be ready when we're ready to contend. Hill goes down swinging. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the 8th for Schlereth.
Got some juice with that fastball. Good breaking ball. This time he elects to just rear back and use it. The fastball against Aaron Hill. Up and away.
Another interesting Tommy John recovery story is Kyle Drabek in Double-A, just named the Eastern League Pitcher of the Year. Of course, a high prospect in the Blue Jays system, but he had Tommy John surgery in high school. So you never know what's going to happen, and there's no way to protect pitchers. Sometimes they're just going to break.
And thank goodness the medicine is so good that you can come back from it now. It's not easy. You've got to put in tons and tons of work. But it's not like it was 20, 25 years ago. If you had it, see it. Your career is over. You can come back with it now.
Travis Snyder making a bid for a hit and dumps it in front of the center fielder. Base hit for Snyder, his third of the afternoon. He's had a great day. 2 doubles, a line out to third, and now a single into center.
And his second base hit against left-handed pitching. Struggled with it last year, but now becoming a little bit more comfortable every time he gets a chance.
So John McDonald will bat for the first time. He came on defensively in the 8th inning. Hits in Encarnacion's spot. You know, to give you an idea about the history of Tommy John surgery, Frank Jobe did Tommy John's original surgery in 1974. A lot of history there.
I remember when that first happened, and I believe he was in a cast for like a year. And they're saying it's a radical new way of saving pitchers' arms, and I didn't fully understand it till I got a little bit older. And then when I understood what happened, I mean, it is a miracle what they came up with. Taking a tendon from your wrist or your leg and putting it in that ligament in your elbow.
Frank Jobe certainly, you know, saved a lot of careers, and certainly Tommy John was one of them. I mean, he had a phenomenal career after the surgery. And I talked to Tommy about his rehab, and I said, what did you do once you got the cast off? He said, I started playing catch. And he actually played catch with his wife 15 feet at a time, and they'd start 15 feet just playing catch. But he built up until he got on the mound. John McDonald up the middle, base hit into center field. Snyder will hold ground at second. Johnny Mack with a base hit in his first at bat.
Do you know how satisfying that is? You come in as a defensive replacement and you get a chance to get in that bat, and now your day is complete when you come up with a big base hit. Gets it right out of the reach of Schlereth into center field.
A little frosting on top of the cake.
Yeah, such a good feeling when you can do that.
John McDonald takes tremendous pride in keeping himself ready to contribute.
And if you're ready, you get a base hit, you can feel good about yourself.
2 down, 2 on. Jose Molina 0 for 3 this afternoon. Snyder singled with 2 outs, and McDonald singled right up the middle. Daniel Schlereth's second inning of relief. Good sinking fastball down and away. Bounce to third. Inge has it. Across the diamond to first. Molina's retired. Blue Jays strand a pair, but they'll go to the 9th inning, leading 5-1. Scott Downs coming on to take on the Tigers in the 9th. Burger King, home of the Whopper.
In the first inning, after a walk and a single, the American League's third best RBI man comes up and splits right field for a triple. 2 runs are going to score. The Blue Jays get off to a great start as Bautista makes his way around the bases. He passes A-Rod and into second place now. RBI 98 and 99. Blue Jays off and running in the first.
Visit BlueJays.com/Burger King to register for a chance to win prizes with the Burger King Super Fan Contest. Big day for Bautista, big day for Brandon Morrow. Morrow looking for his 10th win. Scott Downs out of the bullpen to work the 9th inning. And he will face Austin Jackson, pinch hitting for Brennan Bosch.
Not a safe situation with the score 5-1, but a chance to finish it off.
Brian Talon did a heck of a job in the 8th inning. Got Miguel Cabrera to pop up with 2 on. Had 2 strikeouts in the 8th. Good inning of work for Talon. Jackson late on a fastball. Ball and a strike to the leadoff hitter here in the 9th inning. Young Austin Jackson has been on fire. Scored 16 runs in his last 17 games. Very effective as a leadoff hitter for Jim Leland.
Most hits by a Tiger rookie since the early 60s. That's the kind of year that he has had.
Hit him. So the leadoff batter will reach. Austin Jackson gets hit by a pitch.
Well, not the way you want to start the 9th inning. Pulls that pitch and hits him right in the kneecap.
Scott Downs making his 57th appearance of the season. He's had a good year.
He has also finished 11 games this year. Opponent's batting average of just .215, which is very impressive.
Snap throw. Almost got Jackson sleeping. Downs figure, hey, I hit him. Maybe I can pick him off. Ryan Rayburn now at second base. 1 for 3 this afternoon. Fly ball, deep right field. Bautista on the run. He's not going to get it. 1 hop out of the ballpark. That saved a run momentarily as Jackson has to stop at third. Rayburn with the ground rule double, his 2nd hit of the afternoon.
2 pitches, and just like that, runners at 2nd and 3rd and nobody out. What you're counting if you're the Blue Jays and Cito Gaston is when does the tying run come to the plate? With a 4-run lead, they're still a couple of batters away. Rayburn showing good power the other way. 1 hops it over the wall. And with the left-hander in now, Scott Downs, I think Jim Leland's going to be going to his bench, bringing some of those big right-handers.
Now, he's used Jackson already this inning. He used Wells earlier, and Johnny Peralta is on deck. So Brandon Inge hits with runners at 2nd and 3rd. Nobody out here in the 9th. Lays off the outside fastball. There's Peralta. Did not start in the game. He's had a good series. 2 hits in last night's game, including a double. He had a 3-run homer in the opener. A ball and no strikes. Big swing and a foul back. Blue Jays took a 2-1 lead to the 9th in last night's game. Tigers tied it up. It was Austin Jackson who got things going in the 9th. A leadoff triple scored on Johnny Damon's base hit to right. Inside. One thing you can say about this young Tiger team is they don't lay down.
Made life miserable yesterday for the Blue Jays for 11 innings. They were just 1 hit here or 1 hit there from winning that game. And they know it too. This is a make or break road trip for the Tigers, I think, this season. 3 cities. They got off to a good start. I believe they go to Kansas City and then Minnesota.
They have an off day on Monday. Play Minnesota first and then Kansas City before they welcome in the Chicago White Sox for a 4-game series. This road trip is a make or break road trip for the Tigers. 3 balls, 1 strike, nobody out. Full count. So it's a full count to the Tiger third baseman, Brandon Inge. Obviously an important pitch. Molina wants to talk it over.
Just to be sure that he knows what his pitcher wants to do here. He flashed him a couple signs, got down, shook him off a few times, and now they're talking about it.
You can have a game plan going into a ball game, and then as the catcher working in the 9th inning, that game plan may have changed during the course of Inge's 3 at-bats. So Molina wanted to go out and talk things over. So it'll be a full count to Inge. Runners at second and third. Ground ball, just foul. Another full count pitch. Downs to Inge. Cut on and missed. He struck him out.
He went with that good tailing fastball that Scott Downs has to pick up the strikeout. Watch the location. Right on the outside part of the plate. Inge swings right through it. Right now, if you're the Blue Jays, you're counting outs. Those runners out there on the base doesn't mean anything. You're counting outs, and that's the first one, a big one.
Johnny Peralta has been announced as the pinch hitter. Down and in with the fastball. Peralta's first pinch hit appearance of the season. Everyday player getting a day off today. Thrust into action. Two and 0. (5-1) Blue Jays lead. We're in the 9th inning. Foul back. Kevin Gregg has been throwing in the Blue Jays pen. He is now just standing by ready. Tigers need one more hitter to get on base to bring the tying run to the plate.
And then you have a left-hander in Avila, and then Wells the right-hander. So Downs has at least 2 more hitters.
Three and 1. Jim Leyland has one more right-handed bat to call upon. That would be the catcher, Gerald Laird, if he chooses to pinch hit for Avila.
And then we'll see Kevin Gregg for a good matchup, the right-on-right matchup. But first things first.
3-1. Bases are loaded. Check in with Sam Cosentino.
Be sure to tune in right after the game for Sportsnet Connected with Jamie Campbell. Highlights from around Major League Baseball, as well as previews and news from a busy Saturday here in baseball. Get connected right after the game.
Some Some great matchups this Saturday afternoon. We're seeing a pretty good battle here between the Tigers and the Blue Jays. Tigers again rallying in the 9th inning. It will be Avila staying on to face the left-hander Downs. Avila hitting just 150 against left-handed pitching. Bases are loaded, 1 out. Down and away. Downs hit the first batter he faced, then gave up a double to Ryan Rayburn. Bounced back and struck out Brandon Inge before walking the pinch hitter Johnny Peralta. Tigers have just 6 hits. Two and 0.
He has the ability to come back. He hasn't found his release point. You see him smacking his back legs, telling himself to stay back on that back leg before you start drifting home. Avila has grounded into 10 double plays, so if you make your pitch, you can get out of it.
2 balls, no strikes, 1 out. 3 and 0. The natives are getting restless. Avila, the number 9 hitter. Casper Wells on deck. He came on as a pinch hitter in the 8th. 3 and 0. There's a strike. Bouncing ball to end. It's a fair ball. He'll race to the bag and beat Avila. Second out of the inning.
That's the tying run. Take it yourself. Forget about the run. You don't want to be a hero in that situation. You're counting outs again. It looked like Adam Lind was a little bit in between if he wanted to flip that ball to Scott Downs or take it himself, but he did the right thing. Anytime you can avoid that flip, take it yourself, get the out. And that'll make Cito Gaston's job a little bit easier.
He's called to the bullpen, and with 2 on and 2 outs, Kevin Gray will come on looking for the save. Blue Jays lead 5-2. FedEx. Blue Jays will take on the Tigers in the 4th game of this series. Game starts at 1:07 p.m. The first 10,000 fans receive a Dave Steve bobblehead doll. It's the 20th anniversary of his no-hitter. Came against the Cleveland Indians. For tickets, call the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234. or you can log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations. Kevin Gregg looking for save number 30.
Here's the beauty of being a closer. You don't get the job done last night. You got to go back on the horse this afternoon, a chance looking for just one out for that 30th save for Kevin Gregg.
Casper Wells cuts on the first pitch and fouls it straight back. 2 on, 2 outs. Wells with the pinch hit single in the 8th inning. He did not face Gregg in last night's game. Down and away, a ball and a strike.
But he's a home run threat. Wells hit 21 home runs this year in AAA. Just over 100 games, and he comes into this series swinging a very hot bat when he was down in the minor leagues. 5 homers, 12 RBIs this month.
2 balls and a strike. Gregg threw 26 pitches in 1 inning of work in last night's game. Look for just 1 out here. Fly ball into center field. That'll get down. 2 runs are going to come in to score. Wells cuts it off. Wells has a double. Casper Wells delivers a 2-out opposite field double to make it a 1-run game. The Tigers just won't go away.
They know what's at stake. They have fought their way back into the pennant race in the American League Central, so they will not go quietly. Casper Wells is a nice-looking player. Short swing, stays right on top of that slider, down and away, and drills it into right center field for a couple of RBIs. He has been swinging a very hot bat.
Wells represents the tying run. He's at second. Santiago looks at an outside fastball. Cut on and missed, 1-1. The decisive pitch. Molina will talk it over with Kevin Gregg.
Just in case the Tigers try and steal his signs and give him location.
Tigers have scored 3 here in the ninth. It's a 5-4 game. The tying run at second base. Swing and a miss, he got it. Blue Jays win it. Kevin Gregg picks up his 30th save of the season, stranding the tying run at second base.
Pulls the string on Santiago. Breaking ball. He's out in front. The timing is messed up, and Gregg gets the strikeout and his 30th save.
Tigers make it interesting. Bautista with a 2-run triple in the first. Morrow wins his 10th. Blue Jays win it 5-4.